Hey, we got another jumper in New York City. I'm not entirely sure. Like, there's a bunch of extenuating circumstances on this one, so I don't really know. And hey, lady, if somebody's going to be jumping off of a building, I think you're going to need a little bit more than the parasol. But in all seriousness, folks, jokes aside, okay, I have a pretty hardline stance when it comes to suicide. Okay, I think it's the most cowardly thing that you can do. And that's why I take a look at this, and it's like, really, you want to say that it's a proposed self-deletion by a guy who's deciding to take the old swan dive off of a 54-story building? I got doubts, man. I got some severe doubts, especially given a couple of the other developments that are in the story as well. Like, this guy had every reason to live. Maybe there's some financial dealings behind the scenes, given the fact that, yeah, he's a financier. Maybe some things weren't quite going his way, but he was also making some moves in a legal sense that kind of led me to believe that he has a significant investment in staying alive as opposed to taking the coward's way out. I don't know, man, but we'll take a look at this, okay? And then, try to inform some people by the end, okay? So a financier who fatally plunged from New York City rooftop bar was a dad of 3 who recently filed for divorce. That's what I'm thinking, because he's the guy who filed for divorce, okay? He's one of those unicorns that's out there, okay? Because what's the stats? What's the new hot stats that are out there? 70% of the divorces, like 50% of marriages end in divorce. 70% of the time it's initiated by the woman. And if she has a post-secondary degree, that shit goes up to 90% of the time. So this is one of those guys either in the 30 or 10% that's out there, okay? So this dude's an anomaly in and of himself. And he's a dad of 3. And he's a financier. And he's only 46 years old. Like, this guy had a lot of life to live. So I'm not entirely convinced that this is a guy who wanted to take his own life. I'm not entirely convinced, but there's a story here. Financier who plunged to his death from a Manhattan rooftop bar has been identified as Dale L. Cheney. Oh no. I'd be more inclined to believe this story if it was a hunting accident. A Connecticut dad of 3 who filed for divorce from his wife. Sorry, I was gonna say filed for divorce from his life when he plunged off that bar. But no. A round of applause for this guy for initiating divorce from probably some ball and chain that was out there. Who, well, just what did they have to pick his teeth out of the concrete? Because this guy, 54 stories up. Like, there's more elegant ways that you can, punch out if you want to, but holy. Cheney, 46, bro, plummeted from bar 54 at the Hyatt Centric, Times Square, New York, on West 45th Street near 7th Avenue, in front of at least 2 witnesses around 6:30. Would he have a Wile E. Coyote sign saying, "I did this of my own accord"? Like, how do we know that this was suicide? He landed on the street below and was pronounced dead. Oh, Lord. Like, you can see a tiny picture of it on the side, and I wonder if they have the, that's what he looked like before, and, well, I don't think they have a wide shot big enough to, encapsulate everything that he looked like after the jump, but, man, that's the building that he jumped from, and that's where some of them was recovered afterwards. The death is being investigated as a suspected suicide, an NYPD spokesperson said. I really don't believe that. I don't. Cheney's death came 1 day after he filed divorce. That's where I'm thinking, man. It's like, he filed divorce. I would understand if she filed divorce and was going to take the kids and had lied on his name in order to get full custody, okay? But it could also be true, and they might be investigating this justifiably so, which, if that's their inclinations on this, I have no reason to doubt it fully. I have some doubts. Personally, I have reasonable doubt in this case. Because we all know the economy's in the shitter, even though Biden continues to come out and say, jobs are up and jobs are good, but fucking eggs are $95 a carton, for Christ's sakes. People are out there sucking dick in order to get their eggs over easy, for Christ's sakes. Law enforcement sources told the Post that police were called to the former Upper East Side home twice in 2008 over domestic disputes with his wife. One of the arguments was over finances, which is the number one reason that most people divorce to begin with, is finances. So maybe this guy was theoretically walking the tightrope, as it were, in regards to finances, and we don't know specifically. It's like, bitch, you're spending too much, and it's like, why do you keep hitting me? What are you talking about? And then she just starts doing the old fucking, Jim Carrey act. but domestic disputes. That says a lot. That says a lot, man. Okay, Cheney founded T Street Capital in 2013 in Darien, Connecticut, about 40 miles northeast of Manhattan, according to public records. Okay, so the arguments over finances were back in 2008. He founded this company in 2013. Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so 2008, he was having these conversations about finances during the big recession. Interesting timing. Okay. Independent growth equity firm partners with entrepreneurs and management teams through capital investment, strategic acquisitions, and other opportunities. That's apparently what it is, but come on, man. That sounds like every boilerplate description. Okay, that's just as helpful as some 21-year-old streetwalker saying that I'm an entrepreneur or I'm a model on Instagram. It really doesn't tell you anything, okay? It says a lot without really revealing anything. Cheney was also a board member and investor at 6 different companies in 4 states, according to his LinkedIn page. Yeah, and if that's everything that we're going off of, okay, you can either take this at face value. Like, this guy had a lot of shit going on, okay? That's kind of pushes me towards the category that this was no boating accident. But depending on how old this is, maybe it's a front that's out there. Maybe he knew that he was going to be back on the scene, so he just decided to really embellish his resume. That could be another thing. Like, there's no way to independently verify this stuff right now. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yes, a nice shot of everything that he would have seen on his way down. And before starting his own firm, he worked as an investment principal at Citicorp Venture Capital, dating back to 2007, and prior to that at Goldman Sachs for 2 years, beginning in 2005. So yeah, he knew a thing or two about a thing or two. Earned his master's degree in business admin from Harvard University, according to online profile. So he's a smart motherfucker. Cheney lived in a sprawling 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom apartment in New Canaan, Connecticut. Records show the 8,100 square foot home estimated market value was worth more than $3.8 million, according to its Zillow profile. Interesting. So he filed divorce from the woman who would no longer be in the resident of, or would rather be the resident of this $3.8 million 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom apartment. She must have been a massive fuck up. I'm just saying, man, because guys don't necessarily leave women. Like, you have to go out of your way to get divorced as a woman, okay? Because the number 1 and number 2 reasons that men file for divorce, substance abuse problem or criminal record. And we don't know any of that so far, but I don't know, maybe she's just a turbo bitch. Maybe she's getting antsy about the finances once again, okay? Not wanting to leave the life of luxury. I don't know, maybe they had a prenup and it's like, oh fuck, I'm not going to be getting anything. Well, while I still have access to all this stuff. Yeah, he's got this party that he's going to be going to, and yeah, if you can just go ahead and make sure that he's real close to the railing, that would be great. A reporter from the Post visited the ritzy address Thursday, where they found scattered sports equipment and a Jeep Grand Cherokee in the driveway. Interesting. I don't really know what to glean from that, other than she was a terrible housekeeper. The reporter knocked on the door, but was turned away by an unidentified woman who said Lauren, 44, was not at home. Now, she was trying to get a scoop shovel so that she could prepare for the funeral. A couple has 3 children who are in their late teens and early 20s. Yo, man. Multiple kids in their... Yo, they were fucking early, dude. But interesting. He was 46. She was 44. Just hitting his... I don't know, man. A lot of this stuff doesn't fucking add up, at least to me. Just after the fatal plunge, 2 people at the Rooftop bar told police that the man jumped off the building. Sources say one woman called 911, but I guess they didn't respond quick enough with the giant, trampoline, saying she heard a loud noise. Okay, it was like a bump. It was like a little bump, like boom. Chris Peralta, 31, a parking attendant who was working across the street at the time. Yeah, no shit. Another parking attendant, Nino Rodriguez, way to play into stereotypes, said he heard a big crack. Yeah, just think how much of a noise a fucking water balloon makes if you drop it off of a 2nd-story building. Now just multiply that by 27 times. You're gonna be close. Everyone was nervous. We had some woman come through here and she said someone jumped. She had big eyes. He said, okay, it's a fucked up situation. It's unfortunate, said a hotel worker who declined to comment any further. Yeah, we had to get out the, garden hose and, wash everything down. It was really, detrimental to service today, but everything's been cleaned up, so it's all good. Just kind of okay. We are truly heartbroken at any situation that occurred this evening outside our rooftop bar, but please come through. Happy hours from 5 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and drinks on Saturday. The ladies drink free Thursday evenings. And we are keeping the victim's family and friends in our thoughts and prayers. Tom Blundell, the general manager of Hyatt, Centric, Times Square, said in the statement. So that's the sports equipment that was in the driveway. You forgot to mention the basketball court that was there as well, okay? And what's in the background? What's in the background? Soccer net or something like that, okay? Yeah, the basketball as well. Kids, yeah, late teens, early 20s, probably basketball players, okay? Obviously. Soccer as well. I think those are drill cones where you can just run a soccer. Yeah, you can dribble the soccer ball through all of them. That makes sense. We are working closely with local authorities, safety and well-being of all of our colleagues, hotel guests. Yeah, that's nice. And, just a bunch of, fucking boilerplate responses from the establishment. That makes sense. This is the second time in less than 4 months a person plunged from the same hotel bar. Is it cursed? Maybe that's why they have all of these pre-recorded statements and they all just seem so rehearsed because they just had to deliver them. In October, aspiring model Elizabeth Gagalowski, all right, of Queens, fell from bar 54, hitting the 27th floor balcony. Yo! Staff tried to swoop in and stop the 26-year-old woman from falling as she stood on the ledge. Okay, so she made it more dramatic. Okay, apparently Cheney was just like, nah, deuces, I'm out, and didn't tell anybody. But you have to tag on this salacious story of beautiful aspiring model. 26-year-old woman fell 4 months ago, and we already did a big write-up on that. That's so terrible. You got to tag it on to this incredibly successful guy who has provided, just a fucking cushy life for his wife and his family for 20 plus fucking years. That seems just a touch disingenuous. And yeah, they'll just go ahead and throw National Suicide Prevention Hotline. But I'm going to talk about some shit that, people don't really want to talk about, is for the fact that dudes be offing themselves for a multitude of different reasons. And that's why I would say at the beginning, man, like, this guy had a lot of fucking life left to live. 46 years old, just filed for divorce. All of his kids are going to be grown. He is in the prime of his fucking life. He had no reason to throw himself over if all the finances were in check, okay? But he's already been through this shit beforehand. Maybe we'll just take the most charitable interpretation of this, okay? Maybe his business was going to be crumbling for a second time, didn't want to go through all that stuff, realized that, oh God, maybe he just has some buyer's remorse on, filing for divorce. Like, you can't just immediately take that back. I don't fucking know how all that shit works. But no. Maybe everything was going to be crumbling down, had a second thought about this, and then just thought, oh fuck, maybe I'll just leave everything to that bitch afterwards, and then just went deuces, and then just decided to play Splatterman on the sidewalk. That is never, ever, ever an acceptable way to comport yourself. I don't care what the fuck you're thinking. I don't give a shit what headspace you're in. Never, ever, ever do that stuff. Because I'll be laughing at you and I'll be making fun at your fucking stupid choices. If the New York Post ever writes up your article, you can God well better believe it. But dudes out here, dudes are the ones who are actually following through on this attempts. Like, okay, if this story checks out, even though there's only one observer, which is kind of weird in and of itself, he just jumped, okay? The girl on the other side, she was trying to make, an entire spectacle out of it. I'm going to stand on the edge, and I'm going to tell you all my life story, and everybody's like, just shut up and jump already. And she didn't even get all the way to the ground, so what the fuck? Who wants to write a story about a quitter? But we got our sources cited on this one. And this comes from Medical News Today, an official journal that's out there. Worldwide, suicide, or taking one's own life, thanks for the clarification tips, is more prevalent among males than females. Yeah, going through with it the entire way. That's just another thing you can put in the why men are better category. I'm joking. This is a dark subject, okay? Suicide attempts, though, are more common among females. Again, it's attention-seeking behavior. It's a cry for help. As for a guy, it's like, yep, no, here's all the reasons. Okay, the balance sheet checks out, and it's time to also act accordingly. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, in 2018, more than 48,000 people in the United States died by suicide, and there were an estimated 1.4 million suicide attempts. Yo. What are we categorizing as a suicide attempt? It's really irrelevant. As AFSP also noted that men were 3.56 times more Yo, I thought it was only like 2 times, but holy fuck, you're 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide than women that year. But women are most affected. It's the Hillary Clinton thing, okay? The biggest or the largest affected demographic of war are women because they lose their husbands and fathers. She actually said that. Suicide is preventable. Yeah. It's not something that I'd ever want to see on the table for anybody, okay? Don't do it, okay? People care. There is somebody out there. You aren't alone, all those, same examples, okay? I've known people who have tried. I haven't caught up with anybody who did back in the day, but this was like, dramatic high school-y shit. I don't know if anybody's actually done it, but yeah, you get to punch out, but everybody else has to live in the aftermath of that stuff. So it's just the ultimate selfish decision. Don't. The treatment and lifestyle changes, people can begin to feel better. They learn how to manage their symptoms and find joy in life again. Individuals with immediate risk of suicide or serious self-harm should seek help urgently by calling 911 or their local emergency number. Yeah, and also alongside the same thing, suicide attempts and immediate serious, self-harm and that type of stuff, more common behavior among females as opposed to males, because they'll just make a logical decision and it's like, okay, yeah, it's time to punch out, go buy the toe trigger, and then just, insert and start humming along to Smells Like Teen Spirit. In this article, we discuss male suicide in more detail because somebody's fucking got to. So yeah, causes and triggers. Okay, this is where... see if we can glean any insight as to why Dale Cheney there decided to do it, because I'm still not convinced, man. There are many possible causes of suicide. Well, it's normally when somebody stops breathing at their own hands, but okay. Often a combination of factors and a role of onset or suicidal thoughts and behavior. Typically, people who think about or attempt suicide do so because they have information that can lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. They feel as though they can no longer cope with life. They feel hopeless, helpless, worthless, or lonely, and might believe that suicide is their only option. It's not. Get out of that fucking headspace, for Christ's sake. Go lift, go run, just do something, for Christ's sake. Stop just feeling bad for yourself. These feelings may arise as a result of many situations, including military service. Yes, if you have PTSD, okay, all that type of shit. That is real mental problems. You feeling bad for yourself in consecutive days, yo man, that's your psyche telling you that you're not living up to your own expectations, okay? Hate to be blunt with you, but somebody's got to. The breakdown of a relationship. Yeah, and guess what? The best thing about this is there's always another one after that, okay? That's why I don't believe the Cheney one. A breakdown of a relationship. He initiated it, though, so he knows that he's got he's 46 years old, okay? He's in the financial business, okay? He's got to fight off bitches, okay? He was at an exclusive bar, for Christ's sakes. Like, come on, man. Doesn't make sense. Financial or legal issues, and of course, that could be, the big pin in all this stuff that we don't know about. According to one study, other causes and triggers of suicidal attempts, or thoughts and attempts, may include illness, physical discomfort. Physical discomfort? Yeah, no. Obviously, the first two I totally understand, and you would normally categorize that in euthanasia, but in Canada, if you've got illness or physical discomfort, it's right after Tylenol that gets prescribed to you. It's like, well, would you just like to die? Conflict with family or friends, illness or death of a family member, and loneliness. Yes, of course, there's so many lonely people. Among males specifically, one study indicates significant triggers include being single, retirement, or unemployment. Yeah, man, of course. You know what that is? Just loss of purpose that's out there. And that's why I find it just so... I get intrinsically upset, okay? Because I listen to a couple of people that review media and all that stuff. I've told you a couple of different times. I think the best guy that does it out there, Mahler, Rags, the whole EFAP crew, all those guys. I think they do an incredible job. Objective film review, that's the type of shit that I like, because that's a universal application that doesn't simply apply to media. You can just go ahead and apply that to literally anything that's out there. Books, music, interpersonal relationships, okay? If you don't notice congruency, if you can spot the inconsistencies in people's stories or their actions, yo man, it doesn't matter if it's captured on film or if you're seeing it in real life. Those skills are universal. But yeah, just circling back to that, those skills acquired, or the fact that, people want to point out uncomfortable truths in beloved movies that are out there. What are they labeled? Oh, you're just an incel. Okay, anybody who criticizes anything that a woman does in today's day and age, you're an incel. It's like, bro, you are categorizing a group of people, unjustifiably so, but you're just immediately going to a shaming tactic that, oh, you can't get no bitches. It doesn't even necessarily have to be true, but that is the go-to insult that's out there. Mostly because, well, Western society is overly sexualized, and that's the first go-to reason. And because the world is kind of operated in a female-centric lens. Like, what was the second line that was in here? Well, actually, women try to commit suicide more. It's like, this is supposed to be about male life preservation, okay? But it's still women most affected, because guys, if you listen to tradcon pundits that are out there, okay, they're trying to tell you that you need to be better men for the women that are out there, that you guys just need to shut up and wife up these hoes. I don't fucking think so. I don't prescribe to that shit. I want you to be better for you, and your success is the world's success, okay? You become a man of worth. You become a man of purpose. You go out there and you chase excellence, and then on your path, you end up absorbing bitches along the way. One of the most important risk factors for suicide is being male. What? Okay, studies suggest that females tend to attempt suicide more than males, but males die by suicide more frequently than males. Yes, in the summary at the beginning, 3.56 times more likely to actually, Research has suggested that this may be because males tend to use more lethal methods such as firearms, hangings, jumping. No, women will just do, pills, poison, cutting, all that type of stuff. Dudes, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it, okay? Like you seen with that one former Clinton collaborator, okay? He was so convinced that hanging from a telephone pole, well, actually it was like an oak that was 10 feet in the air, that he also required a shotgun shotgun shot to the chest while hanging in the air. Like, he was really, really trying to commit suicide. Anyways, research indicates that suicide also has associated genetic risk factors. Okay. Well, normally if this happens, there would be, the end of a bloodline before that, but okay. A personal history with suicide attempts. Okay, other risk factors for suicide include, so this is not too dissimilar. It's like, do you have heart disease that runs in your family? Do you have cancer, diabetes? Does none of your family members run? A history of experiencing physical or sexual abuse. A history of, what the fuck? Genetic risk factors. Experiencing physical or sexual abuse. Okay. Having a mental disorder such as depression. I've done a bunch of videos on why depression is sus anyways. Or bipolar disorder. Yeah, okay. If you want to talk about legitimate stuff, like you had, military service before that. Okay, PTSD. Really going through the shit. That's a problem, man. And that's the type of shit that should be explored by professionals that's out there. Having a medical condition such as chronic pain or terminal illness that increases the risk of depression. Yeah, man, fair enough. Shit that's out of your fucking control. Like, hey, you're going to die soon. It's like, oh, man, this sucks. I understand that. But then what's Canada's solution? It's like, well, if you just, like to sign this form. Being gay, yo, they just come out there and say it, man. Being gay, bisexual, or transgender, yeah, 41% of the time can't be wrong. Or not receiving support from others. Oh, okay, so that falls on everybody else. And experiencing discrimination. Well, you put it out there like that. Having suicidal thoughts and access to means of suicide, such as firearms or medications. Yeah, if you have the means to do it, okay. Alcohol and drug misuse or abuse, of course, man. If you're in an altered state of mind, you're more than likely to carry out on a definitive solution to a temporary problem. The initial use of some antidepressant medications, yeah, 85% of the time they are no more effective than placebos. Did a video on that. It's on the channel. Especially among children and adolescents. Yeah, if you prescribe that shit to kids, you should probably have your medical license reviewed. I would make more concrete statements, but, this is a family platform. Although antidepressants are more likely to reduce suicidal risks in the long term. Where's your study? I see that you have the source on that, but you don't for your big claim at the end. Just wondering. Although having a mental health disorder such as depression is a risk factor for suicide, not everyone who attempts suicide is known to have mental illness. Yeah, they could just be trying to get out of the latest Avatar movie. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, we all know that they wouldn't fudge the numbers, 54%, hey, kind of like Club 54, of those who died by suicide between 1999 and 2016 did not receive a diagnosis of a mental health condition. Cool. I would like to see those numbers updated, and given the fact that antidepressants are now being overprescribed to literally anybody who's like, well, I woke up and I didn't feel great this morning. It's like, okay, here, we'll just take all the pills. So know the warning signs, man. Extreme mood swings, talking about suicide, death, or dying, and increased use of alcohol or drugs. Changes of a person's eating or sleeping habits or other aspects of their usual routine. Changes in personality such as severe anxiety and feelings of hopelessness, isolating oneself from others, engaging in risky behaviors like partying at a rooftop bar, acquiring a firearm or means to die by suicide. Yeah, somebody was behind like a lot of rope. It was fucking weird. Driving or giving away money or belongings, saying goodbye to people as if they will not see them again. This just kind of got dark at the end, man. Well, we're talking about suicide. Who the fuck could have seen that one coming? But man, don't do this. Just don't. Stop it. Get some help. Legitimately, But I'll link out to both of these articles, as always, of course, because outside of my descendants that, haven't been born yet, I don't want my face to be the last face that you see before you make the worst decision in your entire fucking life, which would be unsubscribing from the I need to put some jokes in here, folks. God damn it. But man, men's mental health, okay? You get a lot of these, fucking post-wall bitches talk about, I care a lot about men's mental health. Meanwhile, it's just, try to attract enough simps that'll make you feel, good about yourself and your old aged fucking body. You didn't want to give them a chance back when your hips didn't hurt, but now all of a sudden, I care about men's mental health and I care about human trafficking. Sure you do, bitch. You just, care up until the point where they start posting screenshots on Twitter. But no, even, I'm a man. I know, very difficult to figure out, the facial hair and, the 6'6"ness, and, it's very difficult to figure out, okay? So I obviously give a fuck about this shit. I've known guys that have tried to do this type of shit. I've known women who have tried to do this type of shit multiple occasions. I take such a hard stance on this stuff because I find it to be outside of just the old saying where it's a temporary, concrete solution. Well, in Cheney's case, it was very much a concrete solution to a temporary problem, okay? Things will always get better, okay? I know there's a lot of talk in media about how things are the worst that it's ever been, okay? But that's just a fucking marketing strategy in order for you to continue to have eyeballs on this shit. In the past 3 years that I've been doing this shit, which is kind of weird to think about, it started in late 2020, okay? So 2.5 years, whatever, if we're gonna get technical about this, okay? I have worked harder than I ever have in my entire life with less to show of it, but I haven't felt more rewarded, okay? And I know feelings merch and, I feel like, okay, all that type of shit on top of it. But I'm growing, I'm learning, and I'm expanding, and I see that there is actually something that's out there. My pursuit of the truth has been responded to by a lot of people out there on a multitude of platforms. You are never going to catch me slacking on any of this type of stuff. And if I can continue to provide good quality information for you guys out there, hopefully, if you're feeling bad, know that these feelings shall pass and that your next decision could be the right decision and the most important one in order to continue on and make the next day better than the days that came before it. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.